Thanks for joining us, and welcome back to the Watchman on the Wall podcast. Periodically, we'll bring you true stories of angelic encounters, heavenly visitations, near-death experiences, as well as modern-day prophecies that are relevant to us today. When we come back, we'll begin our next episode. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And here's the best part, it's completely free. Anchor has a creation tool that will allow you to record and edit your podcast. This can be done right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. This will allow it to be heard on Spotify, Apple, and many more. Now you can even add a song from Spotify to your podcast. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. So take a minute to download the Anchor app or just go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello again and welcome back. Today we're going to hear from Prophet Julie Green, who has a ministry called, you guessed it, Julie Green Ministries, and it's very popular. And from what I hear, she's very accurate. Now, this is the first time we've had her on the show. She hears from God on a wide variety of issues, and I think you'll find it very fascinating. So without further ado, here is Prophet Julie Green.
And here is a prophetic word. The squatters in your nation's capital will all be removed. And again, I heard this prophetic word from the Lord on the 20th of July. For I, the Lord, this day am warning my children who are defying my words and who are not listening to the prophets. There is coming a great separation. So choose and choose now on the side you are on. These are the days that many will fall away. They will believe only in what they see and hear and will give up on me. Thinking and believing fully, I have failed and I have forsaken them. My word states that even the elect will be deceived, and many people will choose the wrong way to see things and will believe a lie. Yes, the liars will appear to get louder and have more power, but I have told you they will fall like Pharaoh. They pursued you without drawing back. They refused to turn around and repent, and they were consumed with hatred, and they fell into the biggest liar there has ever been, the father of lies, Lucifer himself. Great punishments are being passed down. These days you are entering will be harsh for your enemies, and they will not recover from this time. The time has come for them to be removed. The time has come for their falls. The time has come for their judgments. My children, brace for these times. Many things will change suddenly, but with me you shall not be moved, saith the Lord of hosts. Squatters. Yes, this word will be used to describe the fraudulent government in the buildings that belong to the people and not to them. Most of them are not rightfully elected officials. They cheated and stole their way into their positions. They are squatters, and the world will call them that. And they will be chased out of their seats. Liars and cheaters and never prosper. The world will see and know that for a fact. The squatters are being removed, saith the Lord of hosts. Canada, hold on and do not comply to their lies. Rise up and take back what belongs to you. Don't let Trudeau or anyone with him enslave you again. I am removing him. He is nothing in my sight. You will watch him squirm when exposures come into the light and reveal his lies and who paid for him to be in that position. Yes, it was stolen. Your elections are not elections at all. These people are purposely placed even when the people have wanted otherwise. This is over, saith the Lord of hosts. All the world leaders that have been strategically placed all over this world will come down and be removed by me. You have just seen the beginning. Removals will begin to become more common. Watch as they all come crashing down, and they will all lose what they thought could never be taken. Their positions were guaranteed by George Soros. They were guaranteed by Bill Gates. They were guaranteed by Henry Kissinger. Oh yes, the list will continue to grow on who has been in on this whole thing worldwide. These men thought they were too powerful to fall. Well, so did many enemies of my children in my word, and none of them got what they wanted, saith the Lord of hosts. Australia, your leaders are falling. A coup will be seen. Rise up, Australia, and take back your freedoms. Resist these liars and remember whose side you are on. I will not put you in harm's way. I will give you special instructions and I will protect you. Your nation will be delivered from the hands of the ones you see now that have held you hostage. They can't hold you anymore. Speak your victories and speak their defeat. Your leaders will all be removed, saith the Lord of hosts. A famous arch will fall, and everything it stands for will come crumbling down with it. Watch as another monument will fall to the ground, signaling that more will follow. Dysfunctional, this word will be used to describe the Biden and the ones that are in his fake administration. Yes, I said fake. It's not real when it was stolen. They're all thieves, and they will all have to give back what was stolen. They stole your nation. They hijacked your government and stole your freedoms away. And every law and every decision passed by them, I will overthrow it all. The Biden will soon trip and fall. Yes, he will trip and slip more words that he didn't mean to say. Watch him continue to get worse and worse on live TV. Just when you think he couldn't get worse, then he will do something no one thought possible. He is dysfunctional, and he is losing what mind he had left. The curse has fallen on him, and there is no recovering from this. A video is about to surface with him and the little children and his sick lifestyle behind closed doors. Even the fake one. Yes, the fake Biden is just as sick as the original. That's why they chose him to play this part. It will be revealed who he really is, and he will fall like Joe fell, and judgment will be their end. Treason will be written on them for all eternity, saith the Lord of hosts. Hypothetical. This word will be used in your news. Worst case scenarios, they will scream and shout. Don't listen. Their lies will be denied, and the truth shall set the world free from their captivity. Kim Jong-un. Truth shall expose you and tear you down, your lies and what your plans were against this nation. North Korea, you will never see what you so desired against the United States. Your financial gain and the money you received from this fraudulent government, I will expose it all, and all the money will be given back to who it originally belongs to, saith the Lord. Kim Jong-un, you shall pay with your life, saith the Lord of hosts. Your power is a joke, and you will go broke before you take your fall, Kim. You will soon know you are nothing, and yes, your power is nothing. You will lose everything you thought you would always have. Nothing will be left when I move my hand, saith the Lord. Terrain. This word will be used in your news for an unusual reason. Hypothesis. This word will be used in your news, and every lie will be revealed. Artisan, this word will be in your news. Agriculture, this word will be in the news. They are going after this because they want to break you into submitting further to them. I'll expose what they have done and what they planned on doing, and it won't get by me, saith the Lord. Hilton, this name will be in your news. A famous hotel chain will have a lot of explaining to do when the truth is revealed about things they wanted to keep hidden behind closed doors. I am opening all those doors and exposing them all, saith the Lord of hosts. Wall Street has been put on notice. They will all fall for their manipulation, stealing, and cheating, and who they are connected to will also be revealed or exposed. You will see the fall of the Federal Reserve and the UN, along with every globalist organization. These are the days of great explosions, saith the Lord. Heckler, this word will be used in your news. A goat will be in your news, and the truth behind this will shock many people. Breaking news regarding the Temple Mount. Watch to see what just took place. I told you, my children, everything your enemies have erected will be removed by me, saith the Lord. Great changes are upon you. Great decisions have been made to take this nation back to remove the globalist agenda. All things that appear to be impossible to be removed, or too impossible that it would ever change. I am removing it all. My children, see past your enemies' plans and know they can't stand. I'm removing them all, yes, and I am also giving back to you what they have taken. Yes, thousands of years worth of things is coming at one time. A great restoration along with my reset is coming. Great days lie ahead for you, children of Almighty God. A great shift is taking place, and your celebrations are soon to begin, saith the Lord, your Redeemer.
We'll be right back with more of the Julie Green prophecies right after this. Hello again, this is the Watchman. Please join us each week for an exciting and inspirational podcast dealing with angel encounters, heavenly visitations, near-death experiences, as well as modern-day prophecies that are relevant to us today. So tune in each week and share it with your friends. After all, they could use a little inspiration in their life, too. That's the Watchman on the Wall podcast, and now you can find us on YouTube. We now return back to Julie Green and her latest prophecies.
Now, there is a lot going on in this prophetic word, so I want to go back over it. Now, he's been talking about things that are going to appear like they're getting worse. So they're going to do things around the world. They're going to try these things, and God's saying, don't comply to a lie. He's not even saying this just to us, the United States, but he's saying that to the nations around the world. There is a resistance growing around the world. People are fed up. They don't want their freedoms, what freedom they have left, taken more away from them. In this fraudulent government here in the United States, along with the other fraudulent governments around worldwide, because God says these people were not elected. They were strategically placed there. They were paid to be in these positions and steal these world positions in order to take over because of the globalist agenda. And God is saying he is removing them all. And we've even seen lately there's been at least 9 people who have stepped down, or one was actually killed. He was a former prime minister of Japan. But again, things are happening so fast, and God is saying, Listen, do not pay attention to what they're saying. Magnify what Jesus has already done and magnify what God is saying. Praise and worship, press in. That's a word that he gave to you yesterday. Press in his word. Press in to him and press through the situations that you are going through right now, because there is victory guaranteed already for us. And he says, great days lie ahead for you children of Almighty God. A great shift is taking place and your celebrations are soon to begin. We should already be celebrating right now, even though we don't see. Remember, we're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight. So we should just be starting to lift up our hands and say, Father God, we just want to thank you and praise you for the celebrations that we are about to be partaking in. We thank you, Father God, for our victories, because they're already guaranteed. They're already assured, because Jesus has already come down. He's already destroyed the curse in our life. And we thank you, Father God, that our enemies always lose. Remember that. Our enemies always lose. Say it again. Our enemies always lose. And when you get that on the inside of you, then when you see these things, you will have peace. You will have joy. You will not be moved, because you know our enemies always lose. God always wins in the end. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, God is the creator of heaven and earth, and his plans always prosper. And he saw this coming before the foundation of the world. He knew what they were going to do, and he already planned a way out. He saw this before the foundation of the world. He knew all these things were going to happen. He said in his word, he knows the end from the beginning. So if he already knows the end, before it begins, then he already knows what the outcome is. So that's why he's saying to get into his word. Because when you are in his word, you will be steadfast. You will not be moved with what they are saying, what they are doing. My children, see past your enemies' plans. That's what he's saying. See past your enemies' plans and know they can't stand. This is something that we have to also get a hold of. Nothing they have done will stand. It's not going to stay that way. He says, I am removing them all, yes, and I'm also giving back to you what they have taken. Yes, thousands of years worth of things is coming at one time. A great restoration along with my reset is coming. Now, you can see that with the first Exodus. Now, that was hundreds of years of restoration. It was over 400 years that they were in prison in Exodus, in Egypt. In the book of Exodus, you can read this. And it was over 425 years, and they were enslaved. The children of Israel were enslaved to the Egyptians. So when the Exodus took place, there was a wealth transfer. And that was the whole entire time. It was a restoration of all the things that had been taken from, because they were enslaved by taxation. That's how they basically broke them. Sound familiar? And then enslaved them. And so God restored everything that had been stolen, plus he gave them more back. And so they plundered the Egyptians before they left. And so that was 100 years. God's saying this is going to be thousands of years. And God said this is a greater exodus. Why? Because it's going to be all the nations around the world, not just one nation. All right, great changes are upon you. Great decisions have been made to take this nation back, to remove the globalist agenda. All things that appear to be impossible to be removed, or too impossible that would never change, I'm removing it all. Now, in the book of Revelation, it talks about the one world government, because there is going to be a one world government. It's too soon. It's not that time yet. It's time for the great restoration. It's time for the great harvest of souls. Remember, in God's the one most precious things to God is mankind, and he needs and wants a great awakening, because he wants more people to come to Christ. He wants more people to spend eternity with. He doesn't want them to fall by the wayside. He doesn't want them to fall to a lie. He doesn't want them to fall into deception and go into hell. He wants his people to live with him for all eternity. And so he wants them to have this opportunity right now in this time, where they're going to be able to see that the great I am still is alive. He's the one who is in that Bible, who is still true. He still lives. He still saves. He still delivers. He's still the God who sits, the Most High God, who sits on the throne, and that there's nothing impossible to him or for him. That's how the world is going to see him. The world's going to see the great I am move. And with this move, then that's going to usher in the greatest harvest of souls. That's why we can't just say, okay, Lord, just take us out right now. It's just the end. Just take us out, take us out. No, because the world needs to see the church strong. The world needs to see the church not weak like everybody else. We're supposed to stand out. He greatly separated the children of Israel from the Egyptians in the book of Exodus. He said that twice. I am greatly distinguishing you from the Egyptians. I'm greatly distinguishing. He said it's going to happen again. There is a separation. He's in a great distinction is going to occur. Why? So more people come to Christ. He wants us to stand out. He wants His glory to be seen. That's what all this is about. We are not supposed to just hope we get out of here, or hope that, and to say, all this is over and there's no hope left. God always gives us hope. Always. That's what His word is. His word is the good news. He always will give us a good report. Remember, don't be deceived. Remember what happened with Joshua and Caleb when they came out after spying out the land that God had already given to them. God had already promised them the promised land. It was in the word. It was in the name, promised land. And they spied it out with other people. And they came back with a good report and said, we are more than able. This is in Numbers chapter 13, 30 through 33. They said, we're more than able to conquer these people. And they gave a good report. Well, then the other spies in the land, there was 10 more. And they said, we are just grasshoppers in their sight. So they gave an evil report. The evil report was the one of fear. We can't. And guess what? The majority, they all went with the evil report. Why? Because they went with what things appeared like, with what things seemed like, with how it felt. They went by the 5 physical senses. And that was their defeat. And so they stayed in the wilderness for 40 years when it only should have taken 11 days to get to that promised land. God said, it's yours. I've given you this land flowing with milk and honey. They saw the big, huge fruit. They were carrying it out. Men had to carry out like grapes. It's like this. It was huge. I mean, it was what God had said. And they did not believe it because they believed the report of the evil. They believed the fear more than they believed what God had already. Remember, they'd already seen God with the plagues in Egypt. They seen Him destroy their enemy in their enemy's hometown, in their whole entire city. They saw it destroyed. They saw that God separated them. They also got a wealth transfer. Then they got freedom. They got healing. God healed them, then set them free, and then let them go with all the stuff to the Egyptians. And they still were not convinced enough. Then God led them by a cloud by day and by fire by night to keep them warm and keep them cool during the day. And guide them into the right direction. That's what God does. He leads us and guides us in the right direction and where we should go. He makes a crooked path straight. God will never leave us nor forsake us and let us in a situation go, well, I'm sorry, but this time I'm not going to do anything for you. Which report, and think about this today, which report do you believe? Do you believe the doom and gloom? Do you believe that that all hell is breaking loose and there's nothing that God's going to do? Do you believe that God has just forsaken this world, that He has failed us all? Which report do you believe? Think about it. Who do you believe? Do you believe the evil report? The fear speaking? Remember, fear is a liar. That's all he has. Lucifer, Satan, devil, whatever you want to call him, he is the father of lies. So when he's saying it's hopeless, it's helpless, there's nothing God's going to do for you, it's too impossible, no, you shout the word of God and what it says. No, God always causes me to triumph. No, God, there's nothing impossible for God. If God's on our side, whom shall I fear? Those are the things that counteract and destroy the power of fear that it holds over you. So choose what side you're on today, and that's extremely important today. It's a lesson. I didn't know I was going to say this. I mean, this is all unctioned by the Holy Spirit. He's telling you this today. What side you are on? What report do you believe? Do you believe God or do you believe Satan? That's it. There's only two sides. God or Satan. Truth or lies. Good or evil. That's it. There's two sides.
We'll be right back with more of the Julie Green prophecies after this. Please join us on the Watchman News Network. It's a video news presentation of relevant stories dealing with end-time topics. Just subscribe to the Watchman on the Wall podcast on YouTube, and you will instantly have access to our latest WNN report. That's the Watchman News Network, exclusively found on YouTube. We return now with part 3 of our podcast with Judy Green and her amazing prophecies.
Now, children see past your enemy's plans and know they can't stand. I'm removing them all, yes, and I'm giving back to you what was taken. He has been saying, I'm giving back to what was taken, and he said 1,000 years. All right, now, great changes are upon you. Great decisions have been made to take back this nation, to remove the globalist agenda. All right, breaking news regarding the Temple Mount. So look, something that's going to happen on the Temple Mount in Israel. Watch and see what just took place. I told you, my children, everything your enemies have erected will be removed by me, said the Lord. And then a goat will be in your news, and the truth behind this will shock many people. Okay, when he said monkeys before, I was like, what? Now all of a sudden he's talking about a goat. So let's see what he's meaning by this, because I don't exactly know. But it's going to be in the news about a goat, so watch that. And then heckler. So Heckler, heckler. This word will be used in your news. And you think of a heckler when somebody's on stage and they're, calling them out and they're destroying their time on stage, a person just being a nuisance. God is saying this word is going to be in your news. All right. Now listen to this. Wall Street has been put on notice. This is like the second or third prophecy I've gotten about Wall Street. They will all fall for their manipulation, stealing, and cheating, and who they are connected to will all be exposed. They will soon fall. You will see the fall of, the Federal Reserve and the UN, along with every globalist organization. These are the days of great explosions. So these are days of explosions. Things are intensifying, and that's what he's getting to. A famous hotel chain will have a lot of explaining to do when the truth is revealed about the things that they have wanted to keep hidden behind closed doors. I'm opening all those doors and exposing them all. And then Hilton, Hilton. Hilton. This name will be in your news. Now, I know Hilton is a hotel chain. Now, I don't know if that's the same famous hotel chain that will have a lot of explaining to do. I don't know. I heard the name Hilton first, and then he had me put a paragraph, so I don't know if it's the same thing. It could be, but I'm not sure. So it could be separate. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit. Agriculture, this word will be in your news. They are going after this because they want to break you into submitting further to them. I'll expose what they have done. So they've already done stuff to our agriculture, which most of us have already known, and what they plan on doing, and it won't get by me. So agriculture has been in these prophecies before. You can look that up on our website at jgminternational.org and go on our prophecies and on our search bar. So they've been destroying our soil, been destroying our produce. And God is saying he's going to expose what they already have done, but expose what they were planning on doing. So it was supposed to get worse. And he's going to expose that, and it's not going to get past God. And then the word artisan, A-R-T-I-S-A-N. This word will be in your news. And then hypothesis, this word will be in your news, and every lie will be revealed. Terrain, this word will be in your news for an unusual reason. Then he warns Kim Jong-un. He says, truth shall expose you, tear your lies, and what your plans were against this nation. North Korea, you will never see what you so desired against the United States. Your financial gain. Now listen to this. The financial gain and money you receive from this fraudulent government, I will expose it all, and all the money will be given back to who it originally belongs to. So he's warning him, and he also says that you will pay with your life. So he's saying that Kim Jong-un is going to pay with his life. Your power is a joke, and you will go broke before you take your fall. You will soon know you are nothing, and yes, your power is nothing. You will lose everything you thought you would always have. Nothing will be left when I move my hand. Hypothetical, this word will be used in your news. Worst case scenario, they will scream and shout. Don't listen. Their lies, listen, he had me put this all in cap locks. Their lies will be denied, and the truth shall set the world free from their captivity. The Biden will soon trip and fall. Yes, he will trip and slip more words that he didn't mean to say. Watch him continue to get worse and worse on live TV. Just when you think he couldn't get worse, then he will do something no one thought possible. He is dysfunctional, and he's losing what mind he had left. The curse has fallen on him, and there is no recovering from this. A video is about this was hard to hear. A video is about to surface with him and little children in a sick lifestyle behind closed doors. Even the fake one. Yes, the fake Biden is just as sick as the original. That's why they chose him to play this part. It will be revealed who he really is, and he will fall like Joe fell, and judgment will be their end. Treason will be written on them for all eternity, saith the Lord. And those who have just started to follow me, one of the things that Lord has been saying, he calls Biden the Biden because he already said Joe has fallen, and they put a fake one in this spot right now in order to keep this coup basically going and keep this fake facade going on. And so we are going to find out the truth on that. And so not only is the original Biden, he said, was his sick lifestyle, but this person that is portraying him also has a very sick lifestyle. And the videos are going to surface about what they do, unfortunately, to the little children. And that's why when he's talking about judgment, this is harsh judgment because of what they're doing. And what they have done is in so many different ways to the children. And it is, that's why God says we have to brace for truth. Because I think there is things that are going on that are worse than we could have ever thought were happening behind closed doors. All right. They stole your nation, they hijacked your government, and stole your freedoms away, and every law and every decision passed by them, I will overthrow it all. And then the word dysfunctional will be used to describe the Biden and the ones that are fake in his fake administration. Yes, I said fake. It's not real when it was stolen. They're all thieves, and they will all have to give back what was stolen. When a thief has been caught, he's got to give it all back. It even says that in Proverbs 6:30 and 31. When a thief has been caught, he has to give it back 7 times. So our enemies never prosper. Watch as another monument will fall to the ground, signaling that more will follow. A famous arch will fall, and everything it stands for will come crumbling down with it. So look for an arch, and then also look for a monument. And then Australia, your leaders are falling. A coup will be seen. Rise up, Australia, and take back your freedoms. Resist these liars and remember whose side you are on. I will not put you in harm's way. I will give you special instructions. I will protect you. Your nation will be delivered from the hands of the ones you see now. They have held you hostage. They can't hold you anymore. Speak your victory. Speak their defeat. Your leaders will all be removed, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, all the world leaders that have been strategically placed all over the world will all come down and be removed by me. You have just seen the beginning. Removals will begin to become more common. Watch as they all come crashing down, and they will all lose what they thought could never be taken. Their positions were guaranteed by George Soros, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger. Oh yes, the list will continue to go on who has been in on this whole thing worldwide. These men thought they were too powerful to fall. Well, so did many enemies of my children and my word, and none of them got what they wanted. So we all know who the globalists are, and God's going to keep mentioning all these men's names and calling them out. I know he called them out earlier, a couple days ago. He called out, including Klaus Schwab, and I know he's called out many different people, including Fauci and of Jeff Bezos and all those who are, even Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, all of them. It's the same thing. All right, Canada, hold on. Do not comply to their lies. Rise up and take back what belongs to you. Don't let Trudeau or anyone with him enslave you again. I'm removing him. Now listen to this. He is nothing in my sight. You will watch him squirm when exposures come into the light and reveal his lies and who has paid for him to be in this position. Yes, it was stolen. Your elections are not elections at all. These people are purposely placed even when the people have wanted otherwise. This is over. So God is saying it's over. So Canada and Australia, that should be very encouraging to you today, what God is saying about your nations. And then he talks about squatters. Yes, this word will be used to describe the fraudulent government, to the buildings that don't belong to them. It belongs to the people. But he said it belongs to the people, not to them. Most of them are not rightfully elected officials. They cheated and stole their way into these positions. These are squatters, and the world will call them and they will be chased out of their seats. Liars and cheaters never prosper. The world will see and know that for a fact the squatters are being removed, said the Lord of hosts. The time has come for them to be removed. The time has come for their falls. The time has come for their judgments. My children, brace for these times. Many things will change suddenly, but with me you shall not be moved. And then this is in bold. These days you are entering will be harsh for your enemies, and they will not recover from this time. All right, so God is saying he's warning his people from defying his words and are not listening to the prophets. There is coming a great separation. So choose now and choose the side you're on. These are the days that many will fall away. And so, I mean, there is more to go over, but for the sake of time, I have to not go over it all. But I almost went, I only had a couple paragraphs left. So God is saying we are supposed to be paying attention to his words and listening. Because remember, in Amos 3:7, he doesn't do anything without first revealing it to his servants, the prophets. God is giving us encouragement. He's giving us enlightenment. He's giving us revelations. He's giving us fresh manna from heaven. And so that's why he's saying, listen and obey. Because just like with the children of Israel before the angel of death came, he gave them specific instructions to do. God's been giving us specific instructions and marching orders.
Hello again, this is the Watchman. Please join us on our new video channel called Encounters from Beyond the Veil. It's the same exciting content as our audio podcast, but in a shorter, but yet a video format. Also, please subscribe so you won't miss any of our episodes. That's Encounters from Beyond the Veil, exclusively found on YouTube.
Well, thanks again for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. Any comments or suggestions you may have, you can send to the Watchman on the Wall 2020 at gmail.com. We encourage you to subscribe so you'll always be notified of our future episodes. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you next time on the Watchman on the Wall podcast.